Okay.
Je m'appelle Claude.
Je t'appelle Mlou.
Huh. It's not quite what I'm saying.
Really? Sounds exactly the same to me.
It does? Really?
Yeah.
All right, let's just try it again.
Okay.
Really listen.
Got it.
Je m'appelle Claude.
Je te floop flee.
Oh, mon Dieu.
Oh, de fouf.
Aphasia can be defined as an impairment of language affecting the production or comprehension of speech and the ability to read or write. Wernicke's aphasia, transcortical sensory aphasia, mixed transcortical aphasia, and lastly, global aphasia. Wernicke's aphasia is a form of aphasia that hinders the ability to understand spoken words or sentences. However, the production of speech is not affected, except sentences often do not make sense or consist of non-existent words. Reading and writing abilities are severely impacted. Individuals who experience this type of aphasia have suffered damage in the left posterior temporal regions of the brain, known as Wernicke's area. As Wernicke's aphasia deals with fluent output with speaking errors, alignment can be beneficial. It refers to the interactive use of similar words to accomplish a cognitive common ground in conversations. In a case study, a husband of an individual with Wernicke's aphasia was suggested to implement alignment to improve his wife's output who had difficulty with auditory processing. By reflecting back what he had heard during conversations, regardless of whether he repeated an intended utterance or an error, it would have a positive effect on the conversation of this couple. In another case study, 5 families were asked to record regular household conversations. The study revealed that barriers often occurred when there were attempts to correct speech errors. When communication partners tried to include cooing words to help the person with aphasia, it actually did not benefit the conversation and sometimes actively derailed the conversation.
Hi Byron, how are you?
I'm happy. Are you pretty? You look good.
What are you doing today?
We stayed with the water over here at the moment and talked with the people for them over there. They're diving for them at the moment. They'll save in the moment. He'll have water very soon for him. With luck for him.
So we're on a cruise and we're about to
We
get to
will
Juneau.
store it right here and they'll save their hands right there.
The treatment for Wernicke's aphasia vary depending on each individual. However, identifying interactional behaviors and allowing for change through conversation training can aid communication for people with Wernicke's and their communicative partners.
Let's go for a walk. Walk, we'll go, walk. So how are you today? Today, how? Watch your step. Step, watch, step. Now let's go feed the cat. Feeding cat. Do you see the cat? Can't see. Sing cat.
The previous video includes a patient with transcortical sensory aphasia emphasizing echolalia, a key symptom of transcortical sensory aphasia in which sentences and words can be repeated. Transcortical sensory aphasia occurs due to injuries or atrophy in the temporal or parietal lobe. In this case, the patient has experienced a significant head wound. The temporal lobe houses the primary auditory cortex, which receives sensory information from the ears, while the parietal lobe is responsible for language interpretation. Thus, patients are often unable to comprehend written or spoken language and cannot produce intelligible sentences. However, as observed, patients can repeat words and sentences to form output that can retain grammatical and syntactic structure. Treatment for transcortical sensory aphasia is like Wernicke's aphasia, requiring information of neurological pathways by reteaching semantic differences and comprehension.
Hello, Mr. Fenton.
Mr. Fenton. Yes.
How are you doing today?
How are you doing today?
I am very fine, thank you. How are you doing?
I am very fine. Thank you.
My name is Mary. I will be working with you today.
My name is Mary. I am working today.
As you can see from the short dialogue, the man does not speak unless he is spoken to, but instead repeating what the examiner said, showing signs of echolalia, a characteristic of mixed transcortical aphasia. People who suffer from mixed transcortical aphasia are non-fluent, meaning they struggle to produce their own language, cannot comprehend others, cannot name objects, and cannot read, write, and had difficulties using tools overall. However, they are able to repeat and/or complete sometimes complex sentences as seen in the dialogue between Mr. Fenton and a clinician. Evidently, conversations with MTA patients are non sequitur, meaning that the reply does not follow logically from the question. Mixed transcortical aphasia is usually caused by the narrowing of the internal carotid artery leading up to the brain, but leaving Broca's and Wernicke's area intact. This results in the brain not receiving enough oxygen, called cerebral hypoxia, which leads to brain damage. Recovery from mixed transcortical aphasia is a slow process, and patients are rarely able to achieve the same level of language and communication skills. This is not to say that it is impossible, because it depends on the severity of the damage. Global aphasia affects all areas of language reception and production. A person with global aphasia cannot read, write, or comprehend or produce logical speech. They are able to produce sounds like gibberish or limited simple words. If the case is severe, their visual comprehension can be compromised. The rest of a victim's brain can be fully functional even if their language production is affected. The cause of global aphasia is severe damage to the brain, usually from a stroke or severe head trauma, but could also occur due to brain tumors or other neurological damage. In global aphasia, this damage destroys the Wernicke's and Broca's areas of the brain, which are used for language reception, processing, and production. The cause of the limited sound production in global aphasia is the disruption of the process of physically pronouncing the word. The signals sent from the language center in the brain can only trigger certain muscles in the mouth, resulting in the inability to produce more than one or two sounds. Although the inflection of the sounds mimics sentences, only one sound is produced for all the words. Even when prompted, many patients with global aphasia cannot repeat sounds or words.
How are you, Mama? Yeah. Sockies. You want me to what? What's that? Taking a video. What's that? Yeah.
Speech and language therapy can be effective in improving functional communication skills, positively impacting well-being and helping people with global aphasia participate more in their daily lives. A speech-language pathologist can help to train communication partners in techniques to help alleviate some of the frustrations that frequently accompanies global aphasia. Aphasia patients rely on speech-language pathologists and communication partners to maintain a level of language to promote structure in their everyday lives. Therefore, research and knowledge of aphasia is crucial for victims of aphasia to not be marginalized in society. Thank you for your time, and we hope you have gained a newfound knowledge of aphasia and what aphasia truly entails.